Hello everyone and welcome to my review of set 75433, Jango Fett's Starship. This set came out on August 1st and has a retail price of $70. Overall, I do feel like this looks pretty good on the box. We do have the nice Geonosis planet here in the background with Jango Fett flying away from it, which I honestly think is kind of funny because he never does get to leave Geonosis. And then we also have the asteroid belt and then one of the seismic charges. We also get a nice look at our minifigure lineup. We have young Boba Fett, Jango Fett, and then Lama Su. All of them, well, one of them's terrible, one of them's good, one of them is amazing. But I will get to that here in a sec. And then one thing I don't really like about this is it has the Clone Wars like thing down here with the 332nd Trooper, when it really should be the blue with Darth Vader like it was on Obi-Wan's Starfighter. But I mean, it's still okay. I feel like they're starting to just make this the prequel box coloration. But I will go ahead and build this set and see you in a few moments. So going in order from the not as good minifigs to the really good ones here, we start off with young Boba Fett. This is the same one that was in the UCS one, and it is the one that has the same problems: wrong arm color, wrong hairpiece, wrong belt color. There's a lot of things that are just bad about this minifig, but I feel like that's more of a problem with the UCS set because you're supposed to get the best minifig you can in those sets. So I mean, I still like it. It's still a nice, looking minifig if you don't account for accuracy, but if you do, it's not a very good version of young Boba Fett, and it is probably the worst minifigure included in this set. So next up here we have Taun We, and I know a lot of people have been saying that this is the best minifigure in this set and the main reason to get this set. However, I still think that the Jango Fett minifigure is nicer, even though it doesn't have arm printing. I also didn't have a Jango Fett until now, so that's another reason I think it is cooler. But taking a look at Taun We here, it is very similar to the, or not Taun We, sorry, Lama Su is here. But it does have some big similarities to the Taun We, with the same piece down here to show the cloak or robes they wear, and then some similar printing on the torso. However, the head printing is very unique with this neck piece and then this spine thing up here. So overall, it is a very nice minifigure. Out of the two Kaminoans we have, I definitely think this one is the better one. And then last up here we have the Jango Fett, which is new this year. The only difference between this one and the UCS one is the arm printing, but honestly I am okay that this one doesn't have arm printing. I still think it looks nice. We get what I believe is a new design on the helmet, and we do have this blue printing on each side. We get the new rangefinder piece, so two of them actually came in this set. So if you have this set in the 327th Battle Pack, you should have 4 extras by now, maybe even 5, that you could put on other Mandalorians and Clone Troopers that need the rangefinders. But then looking at the torso, we have the nice Mandalorian armor, and then it goes down through the legs. We have the Jango Fett blaster pistols, and then the gunmetal gray jetpack. And then if you take off the helmet here, we do have the Jango Fett face that has 2 expressions. And then Lego was nice and did include the, hairpiece, so that way you can have him without his helmet. But ultimately, when it's on display or anything, or in a minifigure case, I do think it looks much better with the helmet, and I definitely think this is one of the best minifigures that they have made this year. So 2 quick comparisons here. I want to talk about Lama Su and Taun We here. These are the only 2 Kaminoans we have in Lego form, and as you can see, they have a lot of similarities with their head design and torso printing, but they definitely are very different, definitely very nice. These are really the only 2 Kaminoans that we see that are named in the movies. I feel like the only other Kaminoan we should get would be a Nala Se from the Bad Batch and Clone Wars. I feel like that would be a cool inclusion in a Bad Batch Imperial shuttle or some sort of Clone Wars set. But as far as Kaminoans go, I do think we have two pretty good minifigures in our selection. And then next up here, I do want to compare the Jango Fett from August of 2025 and then the Boba Fett from August of 2024. This is the Boba Fett that was in the Sarlacc Pit 25th anniversary set. So taking a look at the helmets, they are very similar. I do feel like the line on Boba Fett is a little shorter than it is on Jango's. Jango Fett definitely looks much more cleaner, however the positioning of the armor and the belt and all the leg pieces look pretty similar. And then this one obviously does have arm printing, but I feel like between these two, Jango Fett definitely looks nicer. So if you were out there looking for a Jango Fett or Boba Fett minifigure and you didn't really care about the set, I would honestly get Jango Fett's Starship because it's $10 less, plus it has some nicer minifigures than were in the Sarlacc Pit thing. But if you like Boba Fett and you like more war-torn, wear and tear weathered armor stuff, I would go with the Boba Fett because the Jango Fett one definitely looks cleaner. One last thing for those of you who were wondering, this is what the antenna piece from Jango Fett looks like on Boba Fett, so if you get this set and have a Boba Fett, you could easily use your extras to do something like this. So getting into the main focal point of the set here with the ship itself, I gotta say, I do really like this one. I mean, it is very neat, it's very awesome, it has the nice smooth detailing, especially down here. I feel like they put a lot more effort into this, and for those of you who were wondering, I have seen other reviews that showed this one next to Boba Fett's from the Mandalorian show, and they are the exact same size. They pretty much look identical size-wise and build style-wise, except this one just has different coloration. But taking a look at this one here, we do have the cockpit which opens up, and I will get to that more here in a sec. This piece here is kind of flimsy, I mean you can see, so I wouldn't advise swinging it around with this part, but it is still built on. It has some nice detailing, as you can see, and then we do obviously have this one sticker here, and then these cannons here are stud shooters, and I gotta say, in the pictures it really looks like these could rotate. However, they do not. They just stay in place. Then obviously each of those launch. Then moving further down, if you can actually lift this, and you already can see one in there. That's a seismic charge. So let me go get my other. So if you take the seismic charge and drop it in here, make sure it's down there, and then this closes. When you have two, it doesn't really close as well. I mean, it is now. And then if you look here, all you have to do is press up on this and they will fall out, and then you can hear the wonderful sound of the seismic charge in your mind. And then the back of the ship is very detailed, and then to holding this ship, there is actually a handle which you can hold on to and sort of make it fly around if you want, but also it is small enough where you could just grab it in the hand. And then one last thing here with these wing pieces here, they do rotate, and I know in some of the old ones they would flip when you lifted up the ship. However, on this one they don't really, so you have to manually do it. But if they're like this and you take it down, it will naturally fall down. So overall, it has some nice play features and is a very nice build. So with the cockpit here, this is one thing that I know a lot of people were surprised about. So obviously you lift this up and then you can see inside, and it is pretty deep, and that is because you can take young Boba and simply drop him in there like this. He's not attached to anything. And then take your Jango Fett. All you have to do is take off his blasters. You don't have to take off helmet or rangefinder or anything. Take him and pop him on these studs, you can put his arms down, and then if you wanted to, you can flip this in, and then it will close up. So there is actually room for both of the minifigs in here. I know it's hard to see, but Boba Fett is back there. So this can hold more minifigures than the Boba Fett one, which is very nice. It's very cool that LEGO did think about this and included it so that way both the minifigures can fit inside of this ship. And then another thing that we do get with the Jango Fett Starship here is the maintenance cart. And it does have a little spot where if you take Tanwi, or sorry, not Tanwi, Lama Su, I need to stop doing that. If you put him here, he can sort of act like he is piloting this thing, and you can drive him around. There is a cart here, or a crate here, sorry, and here. The one thing I don't like about this though is that nothing can fit in it. I tried the seismic charges, his Jango's helmet, his blasters, his hairpiece. Literally nothing can fit in there, which does kind of stink. Now the one thing that is cool about this maintenance cart is that it is not only a maintenance cart, but if you lift this thing up here and take Jango's ship, and slide it in like this and make sure it's in down there, you now have your very own display stand for your Jango Fett Starship, which does look very nice. So now we have Jango and Boba in the cockpit, and then Lama Su in here in the back if you wanted to display it like this, or obviously you could have it like this with the minifigures around it. It's up to you, but I really do think it is nice that LEGO took into consideration that some fans would want it to be displayed like this. I just wish they had also thought about that when it came to the V19 from this wave as well. So one comparison I did want to do with this set is it against Obi-Wan's Starfighter. I don't remember what year the Starfighter came out, but they do look very nice next to each other, especially with this one on its stand. This could make for a good Attack of the Clones display. But if you were looking for a more in-scale Jango Fett Starship with Obi-Wan's Starfighter, I would go with the UCS version. That's definitely more accurate to the movies. But they still do look pretty nice next to each other. This would make for a good Attack of the Clones display. And then if you really wanted to, you could make it look like they're chasing each other this way or vice versa. And then you could... It is good for play if a kid already has this one and they want this one, because this one has the seismic charges which they can drop onto Obi-Wan's ship. So LEGO did definitely put in a lot of play features and details to really match this one up with Obi-Wan's Starfighter. Well folks, that is it for my review of Jango Fett's Starship. I hope you enjoyed the video. This is the last of the 4 reviews that I have made in the past couple days, because this is the last August set that I did get. I am waiting on the turbo tank for a while, because even though I think it might be bigger than the MTT that I got, I do like the MTT better than that one, so I'm probably going to wait until that one goes on sale. So I might have that one sometime around December, but probably by sometime late this year or early next year. I'm definitely waiting a while on that one. But this set is definitely a nice set. I do think it is worth the $70, especially if you think about other sets that have come out in this wave, especially since this is the only one that has this Lama Su. And then also this is technically an exclusive Jango Fett because it is without arm printing, unlike the UCS one. So if you were thinking about getting this set, I do think you should get it. I don't know about getting it at full price, but I mean, full price still would be cool. I still think it's worth it, but if you do want to wait on until it's on sale, I do think that would be nice. But that is it for the episode. I hope you enjoyed the review, and make sure you tune in for the next one.